A really important exercise is Swan dive. This is fantastic for working through the extensor muscles of our spine, and it helps to draw us back into great posture when we're standing up or when we're seated. It goes hand in hand with the spine stretch, which is on our awareness/warm-up exercise video, the first one of about 8.5 minutes. And I generally do that at the start of every class. But the Swan dive, I try to work into every single class. And if you do any desk-based type work, this exercise is essential for you. So there's various arm positions I can be in. I can be in what I call the arrow position with my arms near my side, like so. I could also be in the cactus position or the push-up position. I'll talk you through those in a moment. So first things first, the hardest part for a lot of people is to take the tension out of their lower back. So allow yourself just to sink into the mats. And you might have a little rolled up tea towel, something nice and comfortable you can rest your forehead on. Otherwise, you can just do what I do, just let my head sink into the mat, squishes your nose a little bit, but it's not too bad. I'm going to draw my hips slightly up towards my ribs to come into neutral pelvis, and I'm going to imagine there's little thumbtacks under my belly button, and I'm trying to just draw my tummy muscles away from the mat. As I breathe out, I'm going to try to keep tension out of my lower back. I'm just going to initially just try to peel back through the neck. Not much movement at all. I can then continue working my way down my rib cage as I slide my fingers down towards my knees and work one vertebra at a time through my thoracic. I'm now starting to get into the upper part of the lower back, and I could work a bit further if I wanted to, but I'm going to just relax back to the mat this time. Make sure I get that tension out of all of those extensors and start again. So once again, I'm breathing out and I'm feeling length through the crown of my head as I extend through the neck, the rib cage. I can then continue working through the lumbar spine. You'll get a lot more extension once you get to the lower back. And again, I'll relax back to the mat. So the breathing pattern, I want you to breathe out as you peel back. You can either then hold it for an in-breath and then come back on the out-breath, or you can come back on the in-breath. Both are perfectly okay. Once again, I'm going to extend through the neck, through the rib cage, through the lower back, and then I may start to engage through my hip extensor muscles, being my gluteus maximus and my hamstrings. And you can probably see they're working. And I'm going to relax in the opposite order, relax through the hip extensors, then through the lumbar spine, and come back to the floor, and just allow yourself to completely relax. If you're wearing glasses, take them off for this exercise. They will get in the way. I can also add a bit of external rotation through my arms, which is rotating like so, and I'll just talk you through it. So I'm starting at the moment with my palms facing the ceiling. As I peel back through the neck, now through the rib cage, I'll start to rotate my palms towards my thighs, towards the floor, and maybe even try to bring my thumbs up towards the ceiling. I'll relax back down. Why is this exercise so important? Well, just think of the movement that you're doing. You're opening up at three major joints: the knee joint, the hip joint, and the thoracic. So when you're in a seated position like I'm in now, I've got what's called triple flexion. I've got flexion at my knee, I've got flexion at my hip, and I'll tend to be rounded out and have flexion through my thoracic. You'll also tend to be internally rotated through your shoulders, through your arms. And what we do with this exercise is we do exactly the opposite. We open you up through all of those. So going from this sort of a position into that position. And as a result, that is really good for sort of unwinding all these poor postures that we get into with our everyday life, which are pretty hard to avoid. I'll just talk you through the other arm positions quickly. The cactus position can be very useful if you want to use your arms, pushing through your forearms, to assist you through the lower back. You don't let the arms do all the work. You're always letting the lower back do at least some of it. It might only be 10%, might be 90%, but it's allowing you to move into that extension as long as it's pain-free. And sometimes when your lower back's playing up, it wants to go into extension, but it doesn't quite have the strength to do so. So this is a great way of assisting it. And so whether my arms are in the cactus position or the push-up position, and right now my arms are relaxed, I'm going to push through either my forearms or my hands. I prefer the push-up position. And my arms are relaxed. I'm going to still extend through my neck. As I get to my thoracic, I drop my elbows down. That helps to lower my shoulder blades. It depresses the shoulder blades. And now I can use my arms to assist me to get a greater range of lumbar extension. And most of us will never need that large amount of range. But as I said, it's more about working through that lumbar spine without the muscles themselves having to work as hard. Again, take the tension out of not just the spinal extensors, but also your arms now, if you're doing this. So my arms are pretty relaxed. I'm going to extend again through the neck. Drop the elbows so I work through the thoracic, and now I can use my arms to assist. And I don't usually worry too much about working through glute max and hamstrings, my hip extensors, when I'm in the push-up or the cactus position. So if I'm getting that extra extension through my lower back, don't worry so much about engaging through the butt and the hamstring muscles.